Welcome to this detailed summary of The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, a groundbreaking exploration of how habits shape our lives and how we can reshape those habits to take control of our destiny. Drawing on scientific research and real-life examples, this book teaches us how habits work, how they're formed, and most importantly, how they can be changed. Let's begin by understanding the framework that runs beneath every habit, the habit loop. Part 1. The Habits of Individuals. Chapter 1. The Habit Loop. Cue, routine, reward. Every habit functions as a loop composed of three elements: a cue, a routine, and a reward. This structure allows the brain to conserve effort by automating repetitive behaviors. Duhigg introduces the case of Eugene, a man with severe brain damage who, despite his memory loss, could still perform daily routines. Why? Because his habits were intact. They were deeply stored in the basal ganglia, the brain's habit center. Lesson: habits are not erased, they're replaced. To change a habit, you must keep the cue and reward the same, but swap in a different routine. Chapter 2. The Craving Brain. How to Create New Habits. Habits become powerful when cravings are involved. Duhigg explains how the toothpaste brand Pepsodent succeeded by attaching a craving, the minty, clean feeling. Similarly, athletes crave the rush from training. Smokers crave relief from stress. Cravings are what drive the habit loop. Lesson: create a craving to build a new habit. For example, associate exercise with a post-workout smoothie you love. Chapter 3. The Golden Rule of Habit Change. The golden rule is simple yet profound. You can't extinguish a bad habit, but you can change it. Using examples like Alcoholics Anonymous, Duhigg shows how destructive behaviors are often triggered by the same cues, but can be redirected into healthier routines, if there's belief and community support. Lesson: replace bad routines with better ones anchored in belief and social reinforcement. Habit change requires more than logic. It needs emotional investment. Part 2. The Habits of Successful Organizations. Chapter 4. Keystone Habits. Which habits matter most? Not all habits are equal. Some have a ripple effect. These are keystone habits. Exercise is one. It often leads to better eating, sleep, and productivity. Alcoa, a large aluminum company, transformed its entire culture by focusing solely on worker safety, a keystone habit that eventually improved performance and profits. Lesson: identify and focus on one keystone habit. It will positively shift multiple areas in your life or business. Chapter 5. Starbucks and the Habit of Success. Willpower as a Habit. Starbucks trains employees not just to make coffee, but to develop emotional habits like patience and willpower. Duhigg emphasizes that willpower is the single most important keystone habit for individual success, and it can be trained through routines. Lesson: treat willpower like a muscle. Build it gradually with pre-planned responses to predictable challenges. Chapter 6. The Power of a Crisis. How Leaders Create Habits Through Accident and Design. Duhigg highlights how organizations often change only in response to crisis. At Alcoa, a crisis in safety helped reshape the company's culture. Similarly, Rhode Island Hospital revamped its procedures after a tragic error. Leaders can use crises to realign the organization's habits consciously. Lesson: use crises as opportunities to create or embed new habits, especially cultural ones that can define success. Chapter 7. How Target Knows What You Want Before You Do. Using customer data, Target was able to predict when women were pregnant, even before they told their families, and sent product ads accordingly. Companies build predictive models around customer habits, which are often stable and deeply ingrained. Lesson: be mindful of your consumer habits because someone else is tracking, analyzing, and monetizing them. Part 3. The Habits of Societies. Chapter 8. Saddleback. Church and the Montgomery Bus Boycott. How Movements Happen. Duhigg uses social change to explain how habits shape communities. Rosa Parks' arrest wasn't the first, but it sparked the movement because she was connected to many different social circles. The bus boycott succeeded because of strong and weak ties, creating a cascade of collective action. Lesson: change spreads through social habits, routines reinforced through groups. Leverage community to inspire transformation. Chapter 9. The Neurology of Free Will. Are we responsible for our habits? The final chapter dives into ethics. Is a gambler responsible for losses if her habit is driven by brain chemistry? Duhigg shows how, although habits may be unconscious, we remain responsible once we become aware. The difference lies in choice. Lesson: awareness brings responsibility. Once you understand the habit loop, you're accountable for your behavior. Summary recap. Let's recap the habit loop that drives everything. 1. Cue. A trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. 2. Routine, the behavior or action itself. 1. The reward, the satisfaction your brain craves. 4. Craving, the emotional fuel that keeps the loop alive. To change any habit, follow these steps. Identify the cue. Replace the routine. Keep the reward. Reinforce it through craving and belief. Remember, habit change is not an event, it's a process. It starts small, but when repeated, it becomes powerful. This is the hidden force behind success, failure, personal transformation, and even social revolutions. Final takeaway. The power of habit shows us that we are not slaves to our routines. By understanding the mechanics of habit formation, we can reshape our destiny, one habit at a time. Whether you're trying to quit smoking, build a new business, improve your productivity, or lead a team, the answer lies in mastering habits. So, what habit will you change today?